July 2025, an exciting time for Vilnius's public transportation system. That's because the city has added a ferry boat service to cross the nearest river. So today, let's go over this new mode of public transport and if it's actually useful as a mode of transport. Now before getting to my own review, here is the system and the plan. There's one boat that will stop at the following locations: King Mindaugas Bridge, Green Bridge, White Bridge, Žvėrynas Bridge, and Verslo Trikampis, which translates to Business Triangle. Now you cannot use regular bus tickets for the boat, and instead you have to buy special boat tickets, which can be purchased on board or through an app. Boat tickets can be used on the bus if you still have time left. The electric boat has 32 seats and additional standing space at the back, which is obviously not ideal when it's raining. The Transportation Authority says that initially only one ship will serve the route, which is a bit of a hint to an increase in the future. It adds that there is the possibility of increasing the frequency of sailings beyond the 30-minute gap that currently exists between ships coming to each stop. And so those are the basics. So how was my experience? Well, I went with my family in late June on the third day of public operations. It was a Sunday and things continued to be busy with residents wanting to check out this novel form of public transport. This was actually my third attempt. The first time it was too rainy. The second time the ferry was full and we didn't have time to wait for later sailings. And then we actually almost didn't make it this time due to continued popularity. But thankfully, just enough passengers got off the boat, allowing enough capacity for our family. The first thing I see is that it's incredibly slow. Not only is the docking procedure moving at a snail's pace, but a deckhand needs to come out and moor the ship. That is to say, secure it to the dock. I would say that these two processes alone take at least 5 minutes. If you're walking around Vilnius and looking to cross one of its bridges, you can get pretty far just by using your feet. So I would say that speed is not something you should expect with the ferry boat. Seats are comfortable and there are at least 2 payment terminals on board, which accept contactless card payment, and all of this makes the process very smooth. I myself use the Trafi app, which is already updated with a ship ticket option as well as the ship scheduling. It's nice to see Vilnius from the water, and that's obviously the one huge selling point of this service. Well, it's perhaps the only key selling point of this service. So what are my thoughts after spending some time on board? Well, I have to say that my only frame of reference is the private ferry services at my home city of Vancouver, with little boats zigzagging across a body of water known as False Creek. The price in some respects is comparable, but it gets messy trying to compare the two because Vilnius is time-based while False Creek ferries are distance-based and also have discounts for buying ticket packages. And then there's the currency exchange. The big difference with Vancouver's boats is that their boats are way more frequent. They're smaller, but they're frequent. There are actually 2 companies, and each company offers a frequency of about 15 minutes each way. That means boats are coming in and out every 3 or 4 minutes, I think. And so in this kind of situation, you don't have to plan too far in advance like you would for the Vilnius ferry. And on that note, you should definitely check out the Trafi app to see when sailing times are and plan accordingly. The ride itself is nice, but with a low frequency and higher cost, it definitely feels like more of a tourist thing for now, which does make me wonder how other tourist-based boat services on the Neris feel about it. I think this is a lovely activity to try if you're visiting and you have kids with you and it's a nice day. But I can't imagine people paying for one-time tickets to actually use it as a way for getting from point A to point B. I think if this service is included in a public transport monthly, multi-month, or yearly pass, then I could see people using it from time to time. But again, you need to plan things carefully. Otherwise, in most cases, using the bus is faster. I would say that the concept is fantastic, and if it could be more frequent and convince drivers to leave their cars at home, well, that's even better. But in the state that it's in now, it's really more of a leisure activity than a form of transportation. And while it's not my job to worry about the project's financial sustainability, I do have to wonder about the operational costs of this service. You have the boat driver, a deckhand, and then 1 to 2 personnel at each of the 5 stops. That's a team of 7 to 12 people. I know it has to be priced attractively for the public, but I wonder if ridership will be high enough to cover even just labor costs. I think using smaller boats like the ones you see on Vancouver's False Creek could allow for faster and more frequent service. But like my wife says, it's probably difficult to find available boat drivers And then adding more small boats and the staff to operate them would only make it a bigger financial burden for the city. I really just see it as a catch-22. You need to spend money and make it a frequent and affordable and viable service that attracts passengers, but then you need passengers to spend money on buying tickets just to prove that this service can earn money. Yeah, it's obviously not an easy thing to do, but I would love to hear from you about this new service. Is it something that you've tried or you will try? Do you think it will last? Let me know by leaving a comment.